matchup is clear. It's the Diamondbacks going head-to-head with the St. Louis Cardinals. All the action on Fox Sports Arizona. Well, look, the veteran in you said shake things up, change things up, but I begged you and pleaded not to bring us up here, Darren and Mark, up on the roof. Are you kidding me? What in the world are we doing up here?
Camelback Mountain over there, Sky Harbor over here. We are in Chase Field. This is amazing, and it's way down there to the field.
I'm not even looking down. You
come
know I don't like heights. I don't even know how to get down from here. But the one thing I think I do know is that we do know a guy that knows his way around this ballpark, and that's Dan Herron.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like your favorite movie, Joe versus the Volcano.
Dan, that was a great movie.
Yeah,
Tom Hanks. Love that. One of my
day.
favorites.
Dan versus Chase Field. So many people like me being scared to death being up here. So many pitchers literally are scared to pitch in this ballpark with the roof open. Not Dan versus Chase Field.
You know what's funny, Darren? Some of the best pitchers in recent times have not enjoyed Chase Field. From Curt Schilling to Randy Johnson to Greg Maddux, a lot of the best that we know did not enjoy pitching here. But Dan Herron, that's not the case. He actually enjoys pitching at Chase because he doesn't change his game. It's mind over matter with him. Go out, execute your game plan. You'll be just fine. Dan Herron has bucked the trend.
So you think being up here will help this team snap a 5-game losing streak? That's the kind of changing it up you wanted to do.
We've gone through a lot to try to change this thing. I think we're up here with the birds. We're up here with the airplanes. This is what we need to do. I'm going to go say hello to some of my friends out here.
Don't touch.
Up here. This is
Get
big
out of
league.
here. All right.
Hey!
The Diamondbacks are going head-to-head with, I can't even think up here, I'm so scared. The
Dan!
Cardinals. It's Dan Herron against Albert Pujols.
Dan!
And please, someone get me a bag.
It's Gracie! Dan!
Arizona presents Diamondbacks Baseball, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Visit southwest.com. Grab your bag. It is on.
We welcome you back to Chase Field, downtown Phoenix, on another beautiful night, a Tuesday night, Game 2. St. Louis Cardinals taking on your Arizona Diamondbacks. Jody Jackson standing just outside the dugout as we get ready for the first pitch. And when you talk about great matchups in sports, well, there's a marquee matchup tonight. Dan Herron, one of the best pitchers in baseball, against Albert Pujols, one of the best, if not the best hitter in baseball. And, you know, Herron began his career with the St. Louis Cardinals, made his major league debut there, was a teammate of Pujols. And last season, when the Diamondbacks went to St. Louis, Darren Sutton spoke with Pujols about Dan Herron as a pitcher and a person. It's our Geico quote of the game.
We had it here when he was young. Obviously, he has more experience right now and using his off pitch a little bit much. But, you know, and learn another pitch, which it was a cutter. Like, it seems like everybody's throwing a cutter in this game right now. But he's a great pitcher. But better than that, he's a great guy, man. I love him when he was here, even though he didn't talk that much because he was so young. But, you know, you can see the future on him. Hopefully, if he can stay healthy, he's going to be one of the best.
Well, high praise. The matchup is coming up, and the numbers for the D-backs for Herron against Pujols, 2 for 6 in his career with 1 run batted in. We will see what happens tonight. The matchup's coming up next. So is our first pitch. Darren Sutton, Mark Grace with the call.
Chase Field against his old mates. And for his old skipper, Tony La Russa, the respect level very high for the skipper, headed to baseball's Hall of Fame as soon as his days in the dugout are done. With regard to his lineup, it's Skip Schumacher, Ryan Ludwig, Albert Pujols. We talked with Matt Holliday before the game today. Some interesting thoughts on his manager. Colby Rasmus, David Freese, Brian Anderson, Brendan Ryan, and Kyle Loesch. A couple of guys get the day off. You saw this coming in this series with a 20-inning game on Saturday. And then, of course, a night game on Sunday. Dan Herron rocks and fires, goes to work with a fastball that misses away. His numbers delivered by a good friends with the UPS store. 1 hiccup. Simply put, just 1 bat out. The 1-0. Shoots that one down the line and into the seats. And interestingly enough, it was against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And that's usually his, in April and May, that's probably the 1 hiccup for the entire couple of months. At least that's what he spoiled us with in his time in a D-backs uniform.
The 1-1 good fastball. So far, 3 straight fastballs to start the ball game for Herron against Schumacher. Skip was 1 for 5 last night, hitting just .229. He has walked 6 times. So The on-base percentage still not where he wants it at 327. Cut fastball up, and the seats on the other side being
Tell
peppered.
you what, those are some vicious line drives into the stands. Be careful over the dugout on the third base side.
So Danny again. Is it the split finally? Yes, it is, but it kicks away from Snyder. He came up with the pitch. He got himself a strikeout. It was a wicked split-fingered fastball, but into the dirt, and the runner reaches on a drop third strike.
And Chris Snyder doesn't go down to block it. He tries to glove it, and because of that, it hits the glove and goes right off his face mask. And a base runner. Bad break for Dan Herron and the Diamondbacks.
So a base runner is on, and every base runner that reaches in front of the combo of power and danger that's in the heart of the order, and Pujols and Holiday. This gentleman no slouch, though, as he is driven back to the bag. Schumacher is. Danny in his career a little bit below average with regard to opposing base runners. And the Diamondbacks this year, that is a little bit of kryptonite. So you can expect Tony La Russa to get things in business pretty quickly. Good cut fastball, strike one.
That's become a swing and miss pitch as well for Dan Herron. He uses it both to lefties and righties now. He's comfortable using it early in the count and to finish hitters off.
He throws it a lot. I mean, Albert Pujols talking with us. You just heard it a moment ago, saying everybody throws it, but Danny has really added it quite a bit.
There's another one.
That one
kind of hung. Yeah, that one kind of hung and didn't do much, but it buckled Ludwig and stayed on the inside corner. Now that's definitely the cutter, Darren. It just didn't do a whole lot, but it's strike two.
He's got options. He still has to believe, by the way, and this is an important part of it.
They just
call
called a balk. Oh, boy.
Dan wants to know why.
Fielding Colbrook, the second base umpire. He's going to have a conversation with Dan Herron. A.J. Hinch on his way out.
What's that back
Well,
leg?
he's saying he didn't step off the rubber. Let's see if Fielding Colbrook's got a point.
Wow.
I didn't see anything wrong with that at all. Herron's still barking at Colbrook a little bit, and I don't blame him. So a strikeout and a drop third strike gets Schumacher to first base. Now a balk gets him to second base. So far, extremely gift-wrapped top of the first.
It just has me thinking about it. The only thing I could say or see is he saying that he buckled the knees a little bit in a deceptive manner, then stopped, then went over. You can't do that. Watch the knees.
You're the former pitcher, Darren. You probably know more about the mechanics. I'm saying he just didn't step off. He just spun and threw is what he's saying.
Let's take a look defensively. Hara, C.Y., Upton, Reynolds, Drew, Johnson, LaRoche, and behind the plate, Chris Snyder. Well, you could read Dan's lips when he said that's never been called. He almost drew a line across. That's never been called against me in my entire career.
Ever. And usually you congratulate the umpire.
That one is belted. Deep. And out of here. And I mean way out of here. It was 84. It stayed up and out over the plate.
It was a hanging split finger is what it was. And I think Dan may have let the umpire's call get to him a little bit. Just a split finger that hangs right in the center thigh high, and Ludwig destroys it to center field. 2-0 Cardinals.
Over the last two seasons since leaving Cleveland, as Albert Pujols digs in and he takes strike one. Ludwig has been one of the better hitting right fielders in the game. It's his 49th home run over the last 2+ seasons. Shot right to Reynolds. Hit it hard, but right at the third baseman. So Pujols came in hitting .321, 5 homers, 15 batted in as he raced. Albert was 1 for 4 with a single, strikeout, and a walk last night. What was the last pitch that Albert just hit?
Cutter.
Okay.
I thought it was a cutter.
Rarely does he have me confused, but the splitter that hung, you just rarely see it do what it did. But then on the replay, it was clear. Holiday takes strike one, 0-1 the count. Hard to tell.
That's the splitter.
You bet. And a good one.
He's throwing it hard. 86 for his splitter is pretty hard, Darren.
Yeah, the bottom falling out of that split-fingered fastball, as you said. Average speed of his split-fingered fastball is 84 miles an hour.
Okay, so he's not too far off.
Well, 2 above. That's the top end. He throws one at 87. Angrily spikes it into the dirt. He threw it there totally and completely on purpose.
Yeah, Chris Snyder able to get down and block that one. Fastball, strike one. That's the split finger. And that's the final split finger. And that one, Chris Snyder was able to get down on the knees, block it, and make the tag for out number 2. Boy, that was nasty.
Colby Rasmus on the ground, base hit. Well, ready for a fastball in was Rasmus. 1 for 5 with a double and a run scored last night. Trying to raise that average up above 216.
Third baseman number 23, David Freese.
So again, you do look back in the inning, and although Ludwig hit a mistake, Dan will tell you it was a mistake. It was not a Dan Herron quality pitch. But you have a strikeout on a ball that got away when it was a backhanded attempt to block it up. That's a base runner. You have the balk that didn't look like a balk. Runner goes. That one gets away from Snyder. And he would have stolen it anyway. So just I'd imagine a frustrating inning for the ace of the club as he tries to take the bull by the horns for his squad tonight.
I like the fact that Tony La Russa also putting that right foot on the accelerator, putting runners in motion. And that's what you have to do off a guy like Dan Herron or a guy last night like Brad Penny. You have to do something more than the norm. You can't just sit back and expect 3 and 4 hits in an inning to score runs. You got to try to force the issue a little bit, because Dan Herron, once he gets settled in, he's going to put up a bunch of zeros.
Dan a bit unnerved by the balk call. Overthrew a pitch, left it up. That one is fouled off. A cut fastball. 1-2 the count to David Freese. The Diamondbacks so far this year, 18 stolen bases against now and just 1 thrown out. The 18 far and away more than anybody in the National League with regard to opposing base runners. That's about 5%. League average about 27. Just missed the outside. 2-2 the count. Freese, University of South Alabama, 26 years old. Hit a lot in the minor leagues, over 300 in his minor league career. Bottom falls out of that split-fingered fastball. A frustrating inning for Herron. A drop third strike, a balk, and a big homer. Chris Snyder and Dan Heron. See the numbers from Mark of late. Kyle Loesch out of Chico, California, 31 years young, has been at it for a while when he broke in. Took him a while to find himself in Minnesota, but a couple of years back, he had one of his finest hours in the major leagues with St. Louis, and he remains a St. Louis Cardinal, makes his winter home out here in the Valley.
Out here in the Valley, up in North Scottsdale. A guy that used to have tremendous stuff. Good fastball, breaking ball, changeup. Injuries have caught up with him a little bit the last couple of years, so that's slowed down some of his success. But still a guy that's dangerous.
Funny how that works, though. I mean, the stuff takes a step backwards as that went up in the zone, off speed. And he gets a little bit better. You get a little bit wiser. I mean, he always, I would agree with you, seeing him in Minnesota a lot.
Oh, unbelievable stuff.
Diving down and driving it. That one to the corner. Johnson high up and off the foul pole. Kelly races on around. He'll kick about 3. High arcing throw in. And Johnson with a leadoff double. That's good to see.
That's a changeup down and in. Kelly Johnson just goes down and hits a 1-iron down the right field line. One bounce off the wall. It looked like it should have been called a ground rule double. It was not. Kelly Johnson stopped at second base anyway. So off to a good start of the Diamondbacks in their half of the first inning.
So now Stephen Drew hitting .298. 5 doubles for Johnson this year. Well, he has been on a roll since starting the season, hitless in his first 7 at-bats. Johnson, that is, as the changeup is high.
And this is where the Diamondbacks have really struggled in their 5-game losing streak, Darren, and that is doing the fundamental things, offensively, defensively, not getting bunts down, not sacrificing runners, not pulling the ball to the right side or driving in the big runs. That all needs to change in this inning.
The 1-0. Good sink, gets the outside corner, 1-1 the count. Arizona in their first 8 games, 7 runs per game, just a tick below actually at 6.9. In their last 5, and this is what Gracie's talking about, folks, 2.5 runs per game and a sub-200 batting average with runners in scoring position. Really in at third is Freese. Bender, right field, and up on it is Ludwig, and they will stop the runner. Stephen taking a look around, saying, wait a minute, I don't get an RBI out of that?
Oh.
May have gotten a late break, Kelly Johnson.
Yeah, not a very good read right there by Kelly Johnson. That's a dead base hit the whole way. That's easily going to clear the infielders. So watching Freese at second base. Freese now, I think he still could have easily scored right here with that ball taking Ludwig to his left, Bo Porter. Thinking with nobody out, he's going to stay conservative. But the good news is, nice job there by Stephen Drew. First and third, nobody out.
Justin gets loaded in that batter's box. A couple of runners on. Nobody out. And a chance to get hot. And he needs to as the slider dives away. He's part of the downfall the last 5 games. The young man 2 for his last 20 with 6 strikeouts.
And in these situations, he's just been trying way too hard. Trying to be the quote-unquote star of the team. It's a lot like, you ever water skied, Darren?
I have.
Well, I'm going to tell you after this pitch, I'm going to compare something. Strike one it is. When you're water skiing, if you're the one being pulled, you don't pull yourself out of the water. The boat will eventually pull you out of the water, and that's what Justin has to do. Let the game come to him. You don't need to go get the game. You don't need to go out and get the pitch. Let the pitch come to you. Let it travel. Relax. Eventually it'll get there, and then you smack it.
Well, especially, which makes all the sense, and you've walked in those sandals before a lot in that situation. I think it makes the most sense because how peaceful he has become in the batter's box over the last few years as a hitter. He has become a 300 hitter.
Right.
But he's still a 22-year-old 300 hitter. And I think that's what you're talking about. Topper off the end of the bat. Pujols up with it, coming home with it, and the ball kicks away. I don't think he had a play. It was in the dirt, but the way Anderson had to catch that baseball, Johnson just slid right in behind him. We'll see again.
I don't know if there was really a play anywhere, Darren. It's cued right off the end of the bat. If he throws it to the plate and you see Anderson doesn't come up, I don't know if even if he catches it cleanly, he's going to be able to tag Kelly Johnson, who got a good jump. And I also don't know if there was a play at second for a force or if he was going to be able to beat Justin Upton. So that's going to have to go as a base hit, isn't it?
Well, for now, and we'll see if they change it, it's actually a fielder's choice with a run batted in. I agree with you, and I think it's a great observation. On the replay, you could see Albert coming one way, Justin going by him. And with Pujols charging in, he's got no chance to stop and turn around and get Justin Upton at first base. I think you're right on the money there. 2-1 the score. That's the good news for Diamondbacks fans. Fastball is away. 1-0 the count. All right, so both pitchers have things happening to them that I'm sure they're not fond of.
Zaniness.
A number off the end of the bat and an RBI. Two and 0 the count to Adam. Adam missed a couple of days. Quad injury on this recent trip. Here's the big picture, though. In his last 7 games in which he's been able to play, he's got 10 hits and 5 walks. So he's reached about 55% of the time.
Well, that means he's really seeing the ball, tracking the ball well. Now he sits in a 2-0 count. Now he can make some loud noise right here with this pitch. Well, how did he lay off that good change up there from Kyle Loesch?
And isn't that the key? I think casual fans think when a hitter's hot, he's hitting everything. I think when a hitter's hot, they do hit the strikes, but they take those pitches.
That's exactly right. When a guy is really dialed in and at his best, he's able to lay off those.
On 3-0, the pitch comes home, and that's on the corner. 3-1 the count. Couldn't do anything with that.
No, it was a good pitcher's pitch on 3-0. Most likely going to get the same pitch here on 3-1.
Upton reached on a check swing roller, got himself an RBI. Drew singled into right field. Thought he might have gotten an RBI, but Johnson got a bit of a late break. Hot shot, base hit, center field. Come on down, says Bo Porter. The throw is cut off. We're tied right away. 2-2. Diamondbacks and Cardinals. That's how you answer back, especially when you've lost 5 in a row.
Now, don't look now, but the Diamondbacks have a first baseman getting locked in. And he is already locked in. 3-1. Gets a pitch he can handle. Rifles it past Skip Schumacher. And the windmill starts for Bo Porter at third base. He's bringing Stephen Drew the whole way. Stephen Drew scores easily on a poor throw. And the Diamondbacks, with nobody out, we got a tie score. We got a slugfest here, Darren Sutton.
Bit of a Donnybrook. That's what happens when you change things up.
Oh, you loved it up there.
No, I didn't. Here's Mark Reynolds. Overthrew that one, a slider at his chest. 1-0 the count to Mark. 208, 4 home runs, 11 batted in. Slugging a bit under 500. Last 2 games slugging more, though. 5 for his last 8 with a double and a homer. Good changeup on 1-0. And in his last 2 opportunities to drive in runs, he has gotten hits both times. 2 for his last 2 with runners in scoring position. He's done it all year.
Well, now it's time to get greedy. Now you want to make this about a 4 or 5 run inning.
Ground ball could be 2. There's 1. They turn it over easily. It's a double play.
It looks like Mark Reynolds may have come up lame.
Let's hope that's not the case.
He looked like he was dragging his leg down to first base. Might need to keep an eye on him. He didn't look like he was able to get down the line very well. Take a look and see what you think, Darren, and folks at home. It looks like he starts to come up a little lame there.
Oh, yeah. He's stutter stepping the whole way. Because we know Mark goes hard all the time, and in that case he just looked uncomfortable, didn't he? That was an uncomfortable run up the line.
No trainer attending to him. We'll have to assume he's okay.
Here's Chris Young. Young steamrolled out of the gates, and with the rest of his teammates has experienced a recent free fall. Hitless in his last 16 with 6 strikeouts.
Yikes.
Overall this year, 15 runs batted in, slugging .490 on the season. He's got 3 doubles to go along with those 3 homers. His club, despite the struggles lately, has done a lot of damage with 2 outs. After a double play when you're a bit deflated, what a great time to drive in a run. Pitch is low. 1-2 the count to Young. Outfield playing Young to pull a step or two. Infield does the same. Shortstop on the grass in Ryan. That one is away. Well, you can tell Anderson tonight working, not Molina. You can tell they like to keep Kyle Loesch off the wide of the plate if they can.
That's always a smart thing, but Kyle Loesch, yeah, he's a guy like, unlike Brad Penny, he can't live in the middle of the plate. Can't get away with 88 to 90.
Popped it up, and that's been part of the struggle for Young. He has revisited a hitting style that he did not like a season ago. A lot of outs in the air. But the Diamondbacks answer back, and that man is red hot. Brought to you by Quest High Speed Internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. And by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. Trying to find that balance, these Diamondbacks, and certainly for Dan Herron with the roof open. Clouds peeking in now inside of Chase Field. And he starts them off with the first pitch, curveball. Haven't seen a ton of that this year, but a true weapon for strike one. Because then the hitter thinks, where do I go from here? Well, what you do is see another one.
Same spot, same result, 0-2.
We've gotten comfortable with Herron, and especially now when you're looking at 7, 8, and 9. Usually, as that's a splitter in the dirt for strike 3.
Brian Anderson thinking, if I see Dan Herron again, it's going to be too soon. Breaking ball split. Thanks for coming. Go get the gear on.
When this reeks as a settle-in inning.
Those are just, and there's the good block right there, once again, by Chris Snyder. That's the way you do it. Go down on the knees. Don't try to stab at it with the glove. Get the block. That way you get the strikeout. Nicely done that time by Chris Snyder.
Brendan Ryan now. Didn't want to, but he did. 184. No long balls and 1 run batted in. He was 1 for 3 with a walk last night. Had a really big year last year, defensively and offensively.
Just a good, solid player. Got a cutter in the middle of the zone there. Missed.
When he got to the big leagues, he was known as being a little bit quirky.
Goofy, if you will.
Made his way to, well, a game in Oakland when he was first called up to the big leagues. Got there at 1 o'clock. Thought he'd get there nice and early for the night game. Get there at 1. That was when the game started, was at 1. As that one is outside.
I'm sure that went over with Mr. La Russa really well, didn't it?
You know who it was? It was Mr. La Russa who handed the responsibility to Mr. Eckstein to help this guy grow up in the big leagues. And David took it seriously.
Got him.
He couldn't handle that pitch, but he now handles his transportation to the yard just fine.
Well, that's why they have schedules.
Pitcher number 26, Kyle Loach.
A split, huh?
I believe that maybe a cutter, maybe a split. I'm not sure. They're both about the same mile an hour. He's throwing his split real hard tonight, Darryl. All I know is that's 4 strikeouts now for Dan Herron. Kyle Loach stepping in. Not a bad hitter.
Well, I've seen him play golf, and I know you have too.
Oh,
so
he's good.
If it's anything like that swing on the golf course.
I have to correct myself. That's 5 strikeouts for Dan Herron. I forgot about the one that got away with Skip Schumacher to lead off the ball game. So
that's a big one that got away.
Yeah, 5 of the first 8 batters gone down on strikes. Oh dear. Is it fair to throw a breaking ball to the opposing pitcher?
All is
It's
fair.
not really fair,
no,
is it?
no. It's totally and completely fair. The 1-2.
Wow. Do it, Dan Herron.
He just struck out
He's
the
back.
side. That's exactly right. A settle-in inning for Dan Herron. Let's get him a few more runs. Home Depot doing more on defense and learning along the way, I would imagine, Gracie.
Well, this is the one that got away. See how he went to stab at it? He didn't drop to his knees to block it. That one got away, and that run would eventually score. This is how you do it. Go down to the knees, smother it just like that. It's not going to get away from you. Get that big old body in front of it like Chris Snyder did that time. That leads to the strikeout. That's perfectly executed.
So Snyder due up second in the inning. Parra goes right to work. Pujols on a backhand says, I've got it. To the bag. Parra running hard every step of the way, making Albert make that play. Simple little thing, but there's nothing at all with regard to what it cost you to hustle.
Well, it doesn't take any talent. It takes talent to hit a baseball at the major league level. It takes talent to field a baseball at the major league level. It certainly takes talent to pitch or to hit for power, but it takes zero talent. Anybody watching this game right now could go out on the baseball field and hustle. Give it everything you got.
Here's Snyder. And the pitch is away. 1-0, the count to Chris.
Whether you're 5 or 95, you can go out there and do the best you can.
The 1-0. 2-0 the count. Chris trying to fight his way through it. Had a hot start when he was given the opportunity to take over. That one's right down the middle, 2-2. Don't forget, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell gives away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day. Over the top of a slider, and so 2 strikes to even things up on Chris. Played to pull in the infield. Definitely can see where Schumacher is. Outfield a step or 2 over. And he pulls it right into the defense. Tried to pull a slider away. And that is in time for the out. So 2 away. Snyder's erased.
Pitcher number 15, Dan Heron.
Now Dan Heron 1 for 7 this year with a double. 2-2 our score. Both of these teams tallying in the first inning. Cardinals out of the gates with some funky baseball, a drop third strike, a balk, and then a home run against Heron. Diamondbacks answered back, striking the ball a little more firmly outside of Justin Upton's RBI, kind of a swinging bunt RBI. One and one the count. Left it up on the ground. Well, you were asking about throwing pitchers breaking balls. Sure, it's legal, but you better get them down in the zone, because pitchers, you speed up their bat when you do that.
Well, even pitchers can whack a hanging breaking ball, and that's exactly what that is, right up in the wheelhouse. Dan Heron can hit. He is a good hitting pitcher. And he continues to show that. Took a hanging breaking ball, just whacked it right back up the box to set up Kelly Johnson here with 2 outs.
Don't forget, it's time for the Amica Hit Zone. For each hit the Diamondbacks get from now through the end of the year, Amica Insurance donates $10 to the Boys and Girls Club of Metropolitan Phoenix as he takes strike 1. Pitch diving down and away. There you have it. And that's this season for Kelly. In.
Okay, so he's a 300 hitter, but he stinks at every part but two spots.
Well, there you have it.
Okay.
Well, 333. I don't know if that should be blue. That's pretty good, right? 1,000. Line drive. Who cares where you throw it? He's been rolling since a slow couple of days to start the season. They stopped Dan Heron. With 2 outs, Heron is stopped by Bo Porter. Kelly Johnson with 2 doubles in the ball game already. As a matter of fact, Kelly has 6 doubles this season.
Well, he gets a fastball and rifles it down the line again. Boy, he keeps his hands in nicely. This is a good play by Ryan Ludwig out in right field. Plays the carom perfectly and gets it back in. As you see, look at the head stay right down on the ball and just rip it down the line. Nicely done by Johnson. So Diamondbacks trying to make a little noise with 2 outs here.
Boy, it's been a lot of fun to watch him hit.
He's only got 2 spots that he can hit.
No comment. 1-0 the count to Steven. Singleton scored back in the first inning. So Steven now in his last 10 games, 13 hits. 3 walks as well. Hard ground ball, just foul.
9 inches, nice play. Down the line, his name is not Del Webb, I can promise you that, but he's certainly sponsored by those homes.
Yes, that's Ron Pennington.
Yeah, Ron's our buddy. Nice play to the forehand side. Nice play, Ron. Attaboy.
Shirley Lohman's over there down the left field line. The 1-1.
Boy, good pitch. Didn't get the call. Hi, Shirley.
That's serious work out there, Gracie.
And they take it serious.
It's a great seat, though. Just opens up right there out of the wall. The 2-1. Off speed, got him out front. And himself a little bit. Drew going hard to the bag, but the Diamondbacks come up empty. Johnson with 2 doubles already in this ball game. We're tied at 2. Well, kids with lids, you see, every Sunday is a Kids Sunday presented by Sanderson Ford. Now, this Sunday, each kid gets a lid, at least the first 5,000, a D-backs baseball cap, courtesy of APS, 602-462-4794. Look at that good-looking lid. Visit dbacks.com/Sunday. And Gracie, do you see how she's wearing it? Straightforward.
Straightforward, like just the way we like it. Like those 2 rascals are. You know, eating French fries. Some nice-looking lids in the stands today.
And they're all so far, most of them, for you anyway, respecting the game the way you like it.
Absolutely. Got to wear that hat straightforward, like it's supposed to be worn.
And I personally couldn't disagree more. So Schumacher leads it off. You remember when your good friend Ken Griffey Jr. did an interview with us with his hat backwards.
That was terrible.
As the breaking ball is
away.
See,
that's no. See, that, you don't want it like that.
No, I actually.
Oh, that's a Cardinal fan. Enough said.
Such nouveau baseball fans, those Cardinal fans, and a late call of time.
Now,
there we go.
Now, you want the bill right there. You want like coming out this way. That's where you want it. Back there is not.
That's a good look, young man.
Turn that thing right around, young man. That way it'll be all good.
The 1-0 pitch to Schumacher. Lines it late on it. And he picks up right where he left off the first time he faced Dan Heron, and that was looking for something, it appears, other than a fastball.
I think he's looking off speed and just shanking everything down the left side.
The 1-1. Cut fastball. Kelly plays it right in his midsection. And he shoots it on in time for the out. That went up, but not up enough to do damage. This is damage, though.
He got a split finger right down the middle, and that is a long, long ways to hit the baseball. Out there in the picnic area.
Oh, and on the count to Ryan. Over the last 2 seasons, amongst right fielders, he is third with 49 homers. First with 178, now 180 runs batted in. As that one is inside. At bats per homer, amongst right fielders, he's the best. Now, mind you, he flailed and struggled for a couple of seasons in the American League. Pretty good pitch, 2-1 the count.
Gary Cedarstrom, the home plate umpire, called it a little bit inside. Wiley veteran Gary Cedarstrom. Oh, he threw another one. On another one, Darren Sutton. Same result.
And that one goes an awful long way as Danny looks in. Has a brief discussion with his battery mate and for Ludwig. A solid couple of years in the National League, rolls into 2010, his second home run in the ball game.
Wants it away. And that was a cutter that just stayed right in the middle. Dan Herron knew it. Better start pitching around Ryan Ludwig to get to Albert Pujols. Oh dear. You see where that pitch is. Middle end, belt high.
So now Albert Pujols, and you could see Dan just a tick try to overthrow that ball. And when that front side leaves, when that front arm opens up a little bit early, just hangs there and spins. Split-fingered fastball, 0-2. 3-2 the score. Albert lined hard to third. Not interested there. 1-2 the count. Two balls and 2 strikes to Pujols. 30 years old this year. Born in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. 3-time most valuable player. Drives it. Fooled by an off-speed pitch. It didn't even have the sound we're used to. And that ball was 15 rows deep. He didn't come close to getting all of it.
That's just called full extension. A lot of times when you get full extension, it'll hit the bat and go a long, long ways, and he just gets fully extended on another one right down the middle. And away it flies. Dan Herron having a struggle here early.
How do you do that? We know he's strong, but there's a lot of strong players in the big leagues.
I never did it. I don't know. I never hit one like that and had it sail 10, 15 rows deep. You can hear him. 2 strikes, throwing splits. 2 strikes, he's throwing splits.
They're trying to do the same thing, not able to do so. A mile high left is Holiday. Listen. Help us with the side swing again, Gracie.
See, he just gets fully extended. He's still, yeah, he's full, but he gets fully extended, hits it right on the barrel of the bat perfectly, and it just jumped because he's so doggone strong. Once he gets fully extended, that bat speed is still flying through there. A couple of guys with a lot of home runs between them right there. McGuire might be asking, man, how'd you do that?
Just feverish in his preparation. A couple of times we tried to get to him today, and we always seem to have at least every other series or so good conversation with him. We've shared some of last year's with you, but he was planted in front of the computer watching video, and that's their kind of sacred territory. I stay away from a hitter when he's watching video. He watched for a good 45 minutes, and he was watching Dan Herron the whole time. He just had him under his hawk eye, just really watching closely.
Yeah, just watching his tendencies, what he likes to throw, when he likes to throw it. I mean, he's not only talented, he's smart.
Curveball is up in the zone. That was a great shot a moment ago of Holliday and Pujols talking things over. When we talked with Holliday before the game, he said, "This man as my teammate," and certainly the money was wonderful. I'm not going to overlook that at all. But that man as my teammate played into the decision. He made an interesting point, and it's an obvious one, as that one misses away, ball 4. Holliday did. You think about his career, and he is such a great player, an MVP candidate just about every year, but he's the guy that's not the top of the marquee. He wasn't in Denver. That was Todd Helton.
Well, you'd have a lot of people arguing that he might have been at the top of the.
Totally agree with you.
Maybe
totally
not the leader of that team, but at that point, probably the best player.
But you know how a player like Holliday is going to defer in a conversation.
Of course.
And then here with Albert Pujols. Four to 2, St. Louis leads it. Ludwig and Pujols both homer this inning.
Cardinals playing long ball. They've hit 3 here in the first 2 2/3.
A pitch out, 1-0 the count, nothing doing. So Hinch and his ace trying to deal with an explosive lineup. Talk about the young, talented players in the Western Division. There's some hitters in that Central Division. Runner goes. Throw down in time. For just the second time this year, the Diamondbacks have nabbed an opposing base runner on the base paths. It's been rare, but the timing of this one is key. They needed it.
The ability to hit the ball to all fields is key. He's got power to all fields, but what makes him so special is that his bat never leaves the strike zone. And it's amazing. Well, you know, I've talked about it a million times. the bat going in and out of the strike zone, you have to be so perfect so many times to be successful. He is so flat and so through the strike zone that, you know, it seems effortless for him.
Your thoughts on what your old teammate just said about Albert Pujols?
Can't disagree with one word he said. It's tough to do, and it's tough to repeat. You can do it every now and then and still be successful. He does it, as Matt said, he does it every time. His bat stays on a perfect plane, and that's why he's so successful.
I mean, technically, wasn't that what we witnessed a moment ago? Albert actually being fooled a little bit? I mean,
yeah.
He was fooled a little bit there. It wasn't a swing and a miss,
it was
obviously.
Full extension. That's what got the ball to travel so far.
The 1-1 to LaRoche. On a couple of hops out to Albert, gets rid of it right away and flips it on over to LaRoche cover. So quickly, 2 outs. Upton flies out and LaRoche grounds out. 4-2 the score. The Cardinals lead it. Mark grounded into 5-4 3-double play back in the first inning. Haven't really seen him challenge defensively, but he ran like there was something wrong with him. I mean, that's, in simple English, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks have got a couple runs on the board, but boy, it could be a lot more. They had 2 runs across with nobody out in first and second in the first inning. Didn't get any more, and then left second and third in the bottom of the second. So there's been some opportunities to put a few more runs on the board. They just haven't been there.
Off speed, dives away. 2-1 the count. Los last year, and Gracie talked about it, injuries limiting him. He did not have a full season 2 years ago, though. A really good year. 200 innings of work, 33 starts, 15 wins, as that one is outside. 3-1 the count. Look at that little one. Has no idea what the score is. At pretzels, that's all that matters. Is that one is low and outside. Nice at bat there by Mark.
All right, let's see if Chris Young can take advantage of that. See if we can get him to hit the top of the baseball again, Darren. He was doing that the first week. Hadn't been so much since the road trip started.
8 walks this year for Mark Reynolds. It has returned a bit for Chris. Numbers early on this season. Well, when you're driving in at this point 15 runs, you know you have to be solid with runners on base as he takes a strike. Young for all the successes in 07 and 08 with the home runs and the stolen bases. And he talked about it in conversations we've had, just had that bat the opposite in a way of Albert, just in the strike zone very quickly, in and out of the strike zone. And that's why you have outs over the infield, correct?
That's exactly right, because your bat is not in the strike zone for nearly as long as Albert Pujols is.
Which nobody says, but he just wants to be he just wants to be better than he has been. Well, that's a good pitch. Pulled the string on him. 1-2 the count.
Beautiful changeup.
Kyle, 31 years old. Chico, California, was actually originally a Cubs draft pick back in 1996. 862nd player taken overall. Regular old middle round pick. Like the man I work with who had a nice career out of that middle rounds.
24th round. Way up there in the 24th round they selected me. I was the 5th first baseman the Cubs took.
Really?
Needless to say, I think they were looking for help at first.
1-2 the count. Nice take there. 2-2 as that one dives away. Young in his first 35 at bats had 13 hits, 14 RBIs. And if there was a guy out there, he was driving him in. Three and two.
A couple of good sliders that maybe last year Chris Young would have probably swung and missed and ended up striking out. This year, he's able to lay off of them. He's got a full count. It's good patience right there. If he's not going to give you anything to hit, go ahead and let it pass. Take your walk. And trust your teammate behind you to do it.
The 3-2 pitch. He did not go
Good
around.
stuff right there by Chris Young.
I'll
Very
tell you
good.
what. And that can lead to positive things. Just a simple walk, correct?
Well, it's the pitches that he laid off. Tough pitches. I mean, this is a good slider right there that Young, like I said, I think last year, all three of those final three pitches he'd have probably swung at and missed. And been a strikeout victim and inning over. Instead, he's standing on first base. A couple more base runners now. Been base runners everywhere for the Diamondbacks. Now it's time for Gerardo Parra to make Kyle Loesch pay for back-to-back walks with 2 outs.
And that was his specialty last year. Stayed up above 300 all season long. Parra did for a rookie. Incredible to see him do it with runners in scoring position. Change of pace. Caught him aggressive, trying to drive those runs in. 0-2 the count.
Right now for Gerardo Parra, you've been out in front of a lot of pitches the last week. Sit back, let the ball travel, and try to shoot him to left field. Almost try to get jammed. That way, you're not going to be out in front of something off speed. Boy, another good pitch he was able to lay off of.
Tempting. Very, very tempting. Dave Duncan, pitching coach for these Cardinals. He has had many a reclamation project come under his watchful eye. They want the pitch in, and on 1-2, he drives it deep right field. Going back is Ludwig. It's over his head. It's off the base of the wall. 1 run is in. Young right behind Gerardo Parra, who hit .340 last year with runners in scoring position, gets it done, and we're tied.
Boy, did he ever make him pay for 2 2-out walks. He decides to try to sneak a fastball, and it comes right back to the middle of the plate. Parra rips it over the head of Ryan Ludwig in right field. Start the merry-go-round, and it's a fast merry-go-round when Chris Young is on first base.
Bo Porter wheeling Young on around, and then quickly, once he got him by, stopping Parra at second base.
Oh, what a huge hit there for Gerardo Parra.
2 outs. Painful to the opposing team. 1-0 the count to Chris Snyder. Each time tonight that the Cardinals have done anything offensively, Arizona has answered back. 2 runs St. Louis in the first, tied it at 2. 4-2 the Cardinals in the third, tied it at 4. There's been a lot of that.
Diamondbacks have taken some tough pitches. Some pitchers' pitches. They are balls. But boy, they have shown some great patience, able to lay off of them.
That man, his
Great
walk.
at bat. That led to it.
Two and one the count.
Well, Loesch doing a lot of off-speed stuff, a lot of change-ups, a lot of breaking balls.
He came in using his fastball 6 out of every 10 pitches.
Not tonight.
Not even close tonight. And he gets when he's right. Good downward tilt on the ball.
There's a fastball. Good pitch. Snyder thought it was high. Pretty good one to take a whack at.
2-2. That's a changeup. Pulled that one across. It stays high.
Another full count. A lot of pitches. Bush has already thrown 64 pitches here with 2 outs in the third.
Let's watch and see what he throws here with a base open, the pitcher on deck, albeit Dan Herron, pretty good hitting pitcher. On 3-2. He threw him a breaking ball and another tough take.
Very good at bat there by Chris Snyder. On another off-speed pitch. A lot of off-speed pitches on 3 and 2, and Diamondbacks are not chasing. What that does now is that gets Herron up. It clears him if he does make an out. But also, he's a pretty good hitting pitcher. If I'm Dan Herron, I'm looking for a fastball first pitch right down the middle. If I get it, jump on it.
Ground ball, base hit left field. He did jump on it. Parra runs right through the stop sign, but Holiday kicks it. Bo Porter had a big, bright red stop sign, huge letters in front of him. Stop! He wasn't looking. And fortunately, it was kicked by Holiday.
Well, Gerardo Parra decides to be his own base coach. It was a fastball. It was down the middle, and he ripped it into left field. Watch Bo Porter. Here he is. Stop! I said stop. Well, never mind. Good thing he didn't, because the ball was kicked out in left field by Matt Holliday, and the Diamondbacks take the lead. Look at Dan Herron helping himself.
Herron with 2 hits in the ball game. Last year, Dan hit .278 with runners in scoring position. A pitcher.
The only thing you may have to worry about is the last time Dan Herron ran the bases, he went out and gave up 2 runs in the top of the next inning. Just something to keep an eye on. But it's a good thing he's running the bases, because he just drove in the go-ahead run.
It's got to be an empty feeling for Bo Porter, knowing that if that ball's picked up cleanly, change up, strike 1.
All's well that ends well.
All's well that ends well.
A lot of people probably think, oh, Bo, he faked out the left fielder. That's probably what he was trying to do. Fake him out. No.
He was just trying to stop the base runner.
Gerardo, this is the stop sign. Hello?
0-1. And then again, this is what happened to Matt.
He just couldn't come up with it. And it didn't really matter. Gerardo Parra never stopped anyway. He was thinking score, 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 and he did.
0-2 the count. Pitch is in. Here it is one more time.
Stop! Stop! And he just puts his hands on his knees as he goes by. All's well that ends well, Bo and Gerardo. It's a great shot.
Got him with the changeup. You do have to throw it with 2 outs. And they do. Gerardo Parra driving a ball. Getting it done off the wall. And at some point, Parra never stopped running because of that. had been the president of the Rockies since 2001, had a great football career as a tight end with the Broncos, the Colts, and the Seahawks, but was really a partner with the Diamondbacks and Diamondbacks president and CEO Derek Hall in putting together spring training here in Arizona. Derek had a thought, and I think it reflects this organization. This sport lost a true friend and a gentleman today. In recent months, our collaborative work and vision on creating our new spring home has made our bond even tighter. I'm deeply saddened that he will not see the project upon its completion, but even more distraught that his beautiful family will be without its loving husband and father. We will miss him dearly. And those of us in Major League Baseball, our thoughts and prayers with his family and with the Colorado Rockies family as well. Leadoff single by Freese. But just devastating news, Gracie, and kind of puts this game into perspective. It's about the people in this game.
100% correct, Darren. And it's too soon. 48 years old. It's just too soon. We'll miss him. He's a good man.
Just a mountain of a man, a big, strong
Huge
man, a real leader. The people that worked for him with that organization run through walls when they loved working for him.
Meanwhile, Dan Herron ran the bases. Let's see if he can come back after that leadoff base hit.
The one saving grace is that he is working with the bottom of the order as he misses outside. 1-0 the count. This is just going to be one of those games. You can feel it. And as our resident expert on the post-game show tonight, Joe Borowski, shares with us, as that one is swung right through. Big swing got Snyder. That just when you think as a member of the bullpen you will in fact maybe get a breather or a 10-2 game to come in and pitch, you won't. It'll probably be about the way things are going, 7-6 by the time the bullpen comes in. You hope not for Dan Herron. And it'll be close one way or the other. There are no soft landings when you're struggling and you're in the bullpen. But the one good positive tonight is part of that 5-game losing streak has been a lack of offense. That has picked up. Those guys, maybe they will see their fortunes turn tonight as well.
I love your glass half full.
That's what
You're
I do.
the best.
Just come along the ride.
That's it.
It's a jolly ride. You can see the toughness during the losing streak. The
Lots
offense.
of smiles.
It's hard with that, though. Starters were good. Bullpen, a lot of runs allowed. It's like traveling with Willy Wonka.
The Oompa Loompas.
Every day's a chocolate bar, Gracie.
Chocolate makes me happy. So's gum.
Big fan of a good chew of gum to get your mind right.
Makes me happy.
Joe Garagiola likes that when you take a good chew of gum. Base hit, right field. Was that a curveball?
It was.
78 miles an hour.
I believe that might be his first major league hit. Nope. You're not asking for the ball?
No, you're correct, sir.
Is that his first major league hit?
You are correct.
Dan Herron still got the ball.
Oquendo threw that in his pocket.
Got it. Congratulations to Brian Anderson.
Oh, you were right on the money, my friend.
I just didn't see the old switchola.
Yeah, usually it's a high lob to the other side of the infield.
Now it's time for Dan Herron to bear down, do some damage with his pitching arm.
That's a cut fastball. It's up and it's in. And over in the press box just a moment ago, a horrible play. He's a great rider, but a horrible play by the prime writer for MLB.com and covering the Diamondbacks, Steve Gilbert. We love him, but he dropped that one, and that was a terrible play.
He's consistently awful over there with his hands. Good rider, bad fielder.
Unbelievable.
Yep, we're bearing you.
I mean, he covers the game like nobody. You know, he does a great job, but Pitch dives down and away, 0-2 the count.
That was the good cut fastball there. In bid need of a strikeout.
On 0-2. That one dives down and in. 1-2 the count. Light breeze starts to swirl around the ballpark. Rumor has it, and some weather experts as well,
it's coming,
that it is going to cool off over the next couple of days.
Supposed to get rain tomorrow, is that correct? Maybe late tonight?
A little bit of rain, a little bit of chill in the air. Did he?
Got him. Sure he did.
No, they said he did
Goodness
not.
gracious.
That was a cut fastball away.
Well, let's see. Did he go, folks? He sure did. Ed Hickok said no. And his word is law. So we're sitting on a 2-2 count.
So Ryan loads those back legs, and he belts it to center field. Young. That's a get by him. Oh, my. 6-5, the Cardinals lead it.
Well, unfortunately for Dan Herron, he didn't get the call from first base umpire Ed Hickox, but then he just plates a fastball. Ryan rips it. Bad read there by Chris Young. He came in on it. It got by him. And this slugfest just went into overdrive for the Cardinals as they score 2 more to answer back on the Diamondbacks. So that's twice now after Dan Herron's had to run the bases. But he's been rocked by this Cardinal lineup.
Surprised the relay even went home on that throw. Infield has to come in for Loesch. Glad to have you with us for American League Baseball tonight. 6-5 here in the 4th inning.
Boy, no kidding.
Some slugging going on. And when the Diamondbacks pitcher has 2 hits, that is for sure. That's a topper off the plate as he reaches away and pokes it. Hey, don't forget, by the way, get all the latest gear and get all the latest news. Get it straight from the source at dbacks.com. Browse the largest selection of t-shirts, hats, jerseys, and more. Visit the official online shop at dbacks.com. Read all the insightful words written by Steve Gilbert as well. Fouled that one off. With the infield in, 6-5 the score. Outfield shallow. 6 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Cardinals. 5 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Diamondbacks. Right through and into center field, and another run. And another run contributed by the pitcher.
Hanging breaking ball. We said even pitchers can hit those. Dan Herron getting hit hard here now in the top of the 4th. Still nobody out. You wonder if A.J. Hinch may have to start getting somebody up in the bullpen.
The phone just rang. And Mel Stottlemyre Jr. on the other end. Well, this is the one night you hoped, the one night you almost expected that you wouldn't be working that bullpen in the 4th inning. Runner goes, huge jump, a beautiful attempt at a hit and run. Nearly shot the hole. He did move the runner up. How about that? Right away. Here we go.
With your pitcher running. I love it. Tony La Russa expects his pitchers to be in shape. He expects his pitchers to be able to run the bases. We'll send you on a hit and run. And really a good job by Stephen Drew reading that and staying home long enough to get the out. I love pushing that accelerator when you got the opponent up against the ropes.
Matt Holliday told me before the game, he said it's a great combination when you play for Tony La Russa as that fastball is away. He's got your back, he said. And you better respect him, he went on to say. And he will continue to have your back as long as you play hard and the right way the entire game. You better be ready to play, he told me. Into right field, it's a base hit. Loshu had moves up just 90 feet. So the hits continue. That in front of Albert Pujols now. And here comes Mel Stottlemyre Jr. Phone rings again, they're checking.
I don't think Esmeralda Vasquez is ready yet. Glenn Sherlock, the bullpen coach, has probably been asked to get somebody else up as well. Well, he's probably just saying, nope, he's not ready yet.
Former Cardinal is being treated very rudely by the club that drafted him and the club that brought him to the big leagues. Brought him to the postseason early in his major league career. And it's been very good work in the past on a couple of occasions. One of those last year, July 18th at St. Louis. He went 8 innings, struck out 8, gave up just 1 run in a 4-2 victory. Albert takes outside. 1-0 the count to Pujols.
You know, the amazing thing is with this arena baseball game going on right now, boy, all these hitters, both for the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals, is very comfortable.
And not much moving of the feet. Boy, it worked. We got him in a rundown. Just have to execute. Steven turns it on. And the bluff to third, throw to first works.
It's the first time I've ever seen it work, and boy, did it come at a good time. And that is a position player and a good base runner in Ryan Ludwig, who just fell right asleep. He wasn't running. He just got, oh my goodness, just not paying attention. Stephen Drew runs him down, and a big out right there. Score that a caught stealing.
Boy, Steven did a nice job, too, minimizing. I've got him. All the time peeking at the runner at third. As that one is away. And realizing again, although he is asked to be an athlete, the runner at third is still a pitcher. The instincts just naturally aren't going to be as good. So Steven, outside of one miscue in a big moment at Dodger Stadium, has had a fine year defensively. They will put Albert on. They will ask that man, A.J. Hinch will, that man, to beat him in Matt Holliday.
Left fielder, Matt Holliday.
He's got the ability to hurt you, does Matt Holliday.
When Holliday was talking about hitting before the game today, he used a word that isn't always used, but it makes sense as I continue to learn from guys like you and hitters down there. He said posture. If I'm hunched over at the plate, I'm not where I want to be. I need to be
upright.
Straight up and upright. Sometimes I will try to do too much, he said, and I'm hunched over a little bit more, not straight up.
Well, let's see if he's hunched or straight up here. Man, he's straight up, so his posture is awfully good.
Well, and he's a guy, Gracie, with great power to all fields, MVP caliber type career throughout his career that has one of those bigger leg kicks. There's a little bit more to his approach. He knows it.
And because of that, he didn't get the foot down and got a fastball blown right by him.
He said for a brief time last year, I tried it. I tried to just keep my feet locked down.
Didn't like it.
Just not me, he
Couldn't do it, yeah.
Had him reaching. Cut fastball away off the end of the bat. So no balls and 2 strikes to count. He was 3 for 5 with a single, double homer, and a couple of RBIs last night. Struck out and flied to left, 0 for 2 tonight. The 0-2. Our Amica Insurance Hot Zone. for Matt Holliday this year. Brought to you by our good friends with Amica Insurance, supporting the Boys and Girls Club of Metropolitan Phoenix, and we thank them for that. Dan stepped off because Loesch had a huge lead at third. Huge. Now he's ready. One and two the count. 3 runs in here in the 4th inning. Split-fingered fastball. Snyder looked like he was crossed up, and then he tapped that chest protector as if to say that was my fault.
He's trying to get as many outs as possible right now. He's trying to survive as Dan Herron. He's trying to stay in the game.
Broke his back, grounded to third. Mark keeps those feet moving, and in time for the out, but more noise for the Cardinals. 3 in the 4th.
It's 7-5 with Dan Herron on the mound. A little bit surprising. Well, after dropping their 5th straight game, A.J. Hinch last night used the term mental toughness to describe what he wanted from his team, and he explained that a little bit more before today's game. He said, with games on the line, we have to have that focus and intensity to make things happen. It's not that we're not prepared or don't have a game plan. It's just that we're not making enough plays. And he mentioned after an error, do you compound that? After a strikeout, do you have a good at-bat? And so tonight, it's still early in this game. The Diamondbacks are going to have opportunities, guys, to make things happen. And A.J. Hinch is looking for a little more toughness from his team in those situations.
Well, they'll need it. And thank you, Jody. When you're in the middle of a 5-game losing streak, everything has to get better. Your physical approach, your mental approach, your defense, your offense. It all has to get better.
It's all intertwined.
And the offense is willing to play along tonight. Stephen Drew with a base hit. Boy, I tell you, another soft pitch up from Loesch. Not throwing many fastballs. You tapped that a couple of innings ago.
This is a breaking ball that just stays right in the middle of the zone. Stephen Drew just rips it through the hole. Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, is going to come out and have a conversation with Kyle Loesch. I mean, yeah, you're loyal to your starters to try to get them wins, but not if he's just going to go out there and just continue to take a pounding like he has so far in this game. Both starters getting hit very hard. Dan Herron has certainly earned that right on this team. He's the ace of this staff. Mitchell Boggs getting loose out in the Cardinal bullpen.
It's a good baseball name.
Yeah. Had some great years with the Red Sox. Won some batting titles. Good to see him back in the National League.
That's actually a different player. That's Wade Boggs you're thinking of.
Okay, you're right.
Legendary member of the Rays organization as well. Had his number retired there.
Yeah. Rode around on a horse in Yankee Stadium, if I remember correctly.
You are correct. Different guy.
Oh,
Here's Justin. Anyway, as the pitch is low, 1-0 the count. No, Mitchell Boggs is a Georgia Bulldog. From Dalton, Georgia. Carpet country up there. 1-0 the count. Oh, huge carpet factories everywhere in Dalton.
In Dalton?
Yes. Blocked up.
Nice block there by Anderson, the youngster. Showing his versatility back there. Nicely done to save 90 feet. That was just spiked. I mean, you can't do it any better than that. Three and 0 now on Justin Upton. I put the handcuffs on him here. He's in a pretty good slump right now. Now, if he was red hot, sure, I'd give him the green light. I'm going to handcuff him here. And a good thing, it was close, but it was off the plate.
Jack in the Box invites all of you to think outside of the box. Now, this is our text poll, 36929. What's your favorite, most unconventional stance? That of Craig Counsell, that of Adam LaRoche, you, or Ichiro. Text A, B, C, or D, and make your choice. Craig Counsell, Adam LaRoche, Kevin Youkilis, or Ichiro. And we're going to step aside. Get a Cardinals fan. All right, we need to get him a nice Sedona red hat. By the way, that's what's going on with the Phoenix Suns, trying to get back in and the next couple of games reclaim the home court advantage. On their home floor. Do it on their home floor. Mitchell Boggs takes over. From the flooring capital of America, Dalton, Georgia. And the fastball runs up and away. 1-0 the count. Boggs attended the University of Georgia, was a reliever there. Went to the College World Series back in 2004. Inside, 2-0 the count. Plenty good arm to start things.
Very good arm.
Velocity.
Big old boy out there, big tall right-hander. But he's falling behind. Boy, it seems like in this game at least, anytime a pitcher's falling behind, they've been asking for it.
Adam drove in a run back in the first inning. A mile high on a fastball with some run away from him. Wow. I am very surprised. A nice play. It's an out, but I'm very surprised the shortstop made that play. Erasmus doesn't call him off. One away.
And they're talking about it right now. Diamondbacks have to find a way to get something across right there. I mean, a 2-0 fastball down the middle. Yeah, Erasmus was pretty much camped, but he just decided to let Brendan Ryan take it.
You don't see that.
Not very often.
A center fielder standing still while an infielder backs up under a ball. All right, Mark Reynolds, as Gracie said, you have to cash in. Went around on a hard breaking ball, strike one. Good slider. He's got a fastball that jumped up, and he popped it up. Outside. Edwin Jackson against Chris Carpenter tomorrow.
Well, Diamondbacks have their handful in that one. That's why this one's very important. If you can find a way to scratch this one. All due respect to Edwin, but Chris Carpenter's a Cy Young Award winner.
Mark thought about it, didn't bite. And so Mitchell Boggs, 2-1 the count. They have upped that average. That average was dipping over the last 5 games during the losing streak. The 2-1 pitch. Belted deep left field and way out of here. You better tighten up those gloves, boys, because tonight the boxing match is going back and forth.
So far to left field. Man, I just don't recall seeing balls go that far. I keep saying that. It seems like every time Mark Reynolds catches up with one. Golly. Mammoth shot to left field.
With that home run, Fulton Holmes donates $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. We will wait to see what it is measured. Broken bat, look out above the dugout. In time for the out.
Hopefully everybody's okay. Right now, I'm not sure.
Looks like everyone's all right, fortunately. Well, that could have been it. That was it. The good kind of it. A long, long home run for Mark Reynolds. And by the way, taco time.
Yes. Now I'm going to stop by tonight and get me some on the way home. Got a Taco Bell right up the street from me.
Out front, it's grounded. Albert makes a fine play. It's actually tomorrow between 4 and 6 at locations that participate.
Oh.
like the one about a mile down the street that Mark Reynolds just hit.
St. Louis center fielder Kobe Rasmus.
Glad to have you back. Our AT&T trivia question. Since 1980, the Cardinals have appeared in 5 World Series. Name the National League Central teams to make the other 3 appearances. And I'm told you have to name the years as well.
Can I ask for that graphic up one more time so I can read that? That was a little confusing. Gregson? Since 1980, Cardinals have appeared in Central teams to make the other 3 appearances. Okay.
Gotcha. And that's current Central teams, obviously. Do you like that?
Well, it's...
There's that home run ball for Mark Reynolds. A long, long way away.
Oh, yeah. I'm guessing the Pirates, the Reds, and the Brewers.
Okay.
Yep, I quit.
Two and two, the count.
Pirates in 79, Brewers in 82. Oh, since 80, my bad. Hey, how about the Cincinnati Reds in 89, was it? Was it 89 or 88?
90.
Well, is this on? I've
yes.
butchered this about as much as I can butcher it.
Reds in 90 is correct. That one is chopped foul. By the way, your good friend Deke Pollard, longtime Cardinals assistant coach, just stopped by the broadcast booth and I think had the line of the night. We're the ones that get paid to talk. When he leaned over and shook your hand and he said, "When's the game start? I'm enjoying watching batting practice."
Yeah, this is a pretty good version of it.
It's popped up into foul territory. Reynolds back into fair territory as he puts that one away.
Well, Deke Pollard, he's not one to mince words, is he?
That's what a great thing to say, though. That's tonight's ball game.
Spoken like a retired football coach.
He made it clear, though, don't sell him short. He's a baseball guy, too, now.
No, he's not really a baseball guy. He'll claim to know baseball. He really doesn't know baseball. And I say that because he's standing right next to me.
I understand. I think the game starts here in a bit. Chris Snyder, that got a piece of him. By the way, Gracie, I know you'll
Yes.
let me do this because it's your group. I need to thank the Cardinals. Incredibly supportive.
The Arizona Cardinals or St. Louis Cardinals?
The Arizona Cardinals, a golf event coming up Thursday that we're having.
Right.
They have reached out, made a big donation, offered up a ton of support. So thank you to your football team, the local football team, the Arizona Cardinals, for raising funds for Sark. And the Cardinals have been big supporters. So give me a chance with Deke here.
That's great to hear.
I knew you'd like that.
Cardinals schedule came out today. Because that one swung on and missed.
Are you excited?
Well, I am excited about Christmas Day.
Oh, the Lions.
Santa Claus is coming to town with Tony Romo and the Cowboys.
Oh, the Cowboys.
Oh, man. It's going to be big league. I'll be there.
That one bounces in. 1 and 2 the count.
You want to go with me?
Nope. No, thank you.
Okay. I know Deke will go with me. Deke Pollard. He'll go. Football guy. No restoring the roar.
The 1-2. Over the top of a split-fingered fastball. Heron pitch number 91.
Well, this is about as crisp as he's been. He struck out the side in the second. Now 2 quick outs here in the 5th. Much needed shutdown inning. If he can find a way to retire Brian Anderson. It's a good start right to the outside corner at the knees. I think Gary Cederson's seeing that this game is almost 2 hours old and we're already in the 5th. So he might be starting to widen the strike zone just a shade. Oh, what a pitch. That's the cutter to the left-hander, Darren. Right underneath his hands. No chance there for Anderson.
1 and 2 the count. When he gets on top of that ball, it almost looks like a slider. The 1-2. Ground ball. And LaRoche is there to the bag. Well, Coach, batting practice is over. I guess the game has now begun. The score 8-7. When this ball game started, we've loved every moment of it. That was just a small potholder. But the game goes on, and it's now a blanket for a king-size bed. AT&T trivia question, and we're loving all the offense tonight. Name the 3 National League Central teams other than the Cards to appear in the World Series since '80. Brewers, Reds, and the Astros.
Astros losers to the Chicago White Sox to break a long, long spell in the city of Chicago. But it went to the south side, much to the chagrin of Cub fans everywhere.
That was a gut-wrenching year for Cub fans. Former Diamondback John Garland, a pitcher on that team, the White Sox team. 1-1 the count to Chris. 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. 8 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Diamondbacks. Boggs drops a bender in there, and the count 1-2. Two and two the count. Play Snyder to pull the baseball on the infield. Outfield just about straight for Chris. Kyle Loesch knocked out of this ball game. Down goes Snyder on strikes as he swings at the fastball in. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. Well, it's cool to get a hit, and then your outfielder really helps you get that RBI.
It's not cool to run through the stop sign, but if you score, it becomes forgotten, and it's once again cool.
Bo Porter has said it time and time again. When I've asked him to grade his outfielders defensively, he said, "What's our record?" Well, at that point, it was early. 4-2 is the record. Well, I can't give an A to a team that's not perfect.
Well, an A doesn't mean perfect, does it? Like, you can have 97% and get an A.
I only got 100s.
I never got one of those. I got credit for getting the name right.
I kid, obviously.
Struggled in math. Math was not my friend.
That one bounces in there, but I guess to make the point that the end result is what Bo cares about. So that's what you're talking about. They'll talk about it, but the end result was a run, and if the end result is a victory, that's what he's looking to do. Win baseball games.
Here's the 1-2 to Herron. He lays off. Nicely done there. 2-2.
A little denial play-by-play from Mark Grace. That's what that is. If you've just joined us for the first time, where have you been?
We've missed you.
The 2-2. Outside.
Dan Herron is putting together some at-bats here tonight. A couple of base hits. Now he's making Mitchell Boggs work hard. Here with 1 out in the 5th. Don't know if I want him to run the bases, though. That's been a bad omen tonight.
Pops that one foul. Quest high-speed internet, high-speed pitch for the starters in the game. Dan's still in, and Loesch is gone. Quest, a proud team partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Dan Herron. Another hit, a 3-hit night. Ties his career high with 3 hits. Did it last year in Los Angeles and 2 years ago in Colorado. Against a totally different arm, by the way.
Yeah, a guy throwing 95 from 3/4. Slinging it. 400 hitter. Ted Williams and Dan Herron.
Since you and I did our first game together back in April in 2007, I've been telling you about these pitchers and their ability to hit. And they've been showing you ever since. And here again is another case.
Well, I understand that. And it's easy to go to that well with Dan Herron, Edwin Jackson. But you used to go to that well also with Brandon Webb and Doug Davis.
Well, you just leave Doug Davis alone because Doug can hit. I just need Brandon back pitching. I'm not worried about his bat right now.
Off a mound somewhere.
Johnson shoots it. Aaron is on the move. Kelly Johnson races in. And his third double of the night. 3 doubles tonight for Kelly Johnson.
And what a night he's having as well. 3 doubles all down the right field line. What is that now? 7 doubles for Kelly Johnson. Fastball in, rifled down the right field line. Albert Pujols can't even move before it's by him. Nicely done right there by Ludwig, cutting it off, saving a run. Dan Herron out there running those bases again, Darren Sutton. Maybe he can score here on something from Stephen Drew. Nice slider right over the top of it goes Drew.
The one-time American Leaguer grinding through a truly American League style game. And hitting better than most DHs. A topper. Albert takes a look over there, and to the bag Albert goes. Drew is erased.
Well, decision time now. With a base open, do you go after Justin Upton and pitch to Adam LaRoche, who's hot? Upton's the all-star, but Upton's the one that's been scuffling a little bit. LaRoche, never been an all-star, but he's been swinging the bat awfully well of late. So with a base open, it's decision time now for Tony La Russa. And I would imagine he's probably going to go after the youngster here in Upton.
He takes a peek in. Anderson does. And here they go. A base open. Runners on second and third, and the breaking ball is overthrown. It's high. Johnson is at second. A 3-double night, tying his career high. And the last time he had 3 doubles in a game, Kelly Johnson, as you see what Justin has done, was against the Diamondbacks as a Brave last May. But it also against Cincy 2 years ago.
That one got him, I think.
And it was a breaking ball, 83 miles an hour. He overthrew badly 2 sliders.
And it just grazes the jersey of Justin Upton. So if you're going to get hit like that. But that loads the bases for a hot hitter in Adam LaRoche. Adam a chance to really put some distance now between the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals. That's a pretty emphatic conversation out there Dave Duncan's having with Mitchell Boggs.
Now batting first baseman Adam LaRoche.
Three Grand Slam home runs, as you can see, the last time against the Dodgers. Chad Billingsley, September of '08. And Duncan did lay into him. He's also hit one in this ballpark as a visitor. LaRoche, as that one is low. Back in '06 against Miguel Batista. Really playing at him to pull. Infield and outfield. 2-0 the count.
Now you just shoeboxing. And shoeboxing means you're looking for one pitch in one spot. You're looking for a fastball, and it's got to be right in the middle of the plate, belt high. Anything else, you let it pass.
Bases loaded. Herron out front. Inside corner.
Good
2-1.
pitch. Good pitcher's pitch right there.
Herron is at third. Johnson with the double, and Upton hit by a pitch. Left-handed hitter's career, and it's been 2+ seasons against this pitcher, hit .374 against him. A bolt, but it's foul.
Get out of the way, Matt Williams.
zone just works with Matt. 2-2.
Well, Boggs, a good job of coming back and even in the count now on Adam LaRoche. Now he can go to his off-speed stuff if he chooses, or stay with the fastball, the good fastball.
Wow, a high strike. It's called strike 3. Arizona on top of St. Louis. Old-fashioned smash-mouth baseball. What is Kachiko, you might wonder? Well, find out and learn how. You can play right here at Chase Field by going to the interactive kiosk near Section 111 during Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home games. Oh, yeah, he's still out there working. He's not about to close up shop. Not yet. But, again, running the bases. A half inning ago, 95 pitches. We watch him closely. Well, you won't see that line very often and be in the lead, will you?
Not very often. But this has been a goofy game, to say the least.
Buries the fastball in. It's popped up. Drew with some wind out there. He goes back and makes the play in front of Chris Young, the center fielder.
We're seeing it often now.
Goodness.
Center fielder just go ahead and let the infielder take it.
Espeling Vasquez up again. That's something the pitching coaches and managers have to keep an eye on.
How many times you get a pitcher up and down?
Don't you think?
I think if you get him up more than twice, if you don't get him in the game, you probably shouldn't pitch him the next day. Or just get him in the game. But Dan Herron was really, he was one strike away from being out of this game in the fourth. He ended up getting Matt Holliday to end the fourth. And now he's retired 5 in a row since then.
1-1 the count to Joe Mather, who plays as a utility player and outfielder for this club, but he was up and down in that 20-inning game and then came in and pitched. A few knuckleballs out there. As he takes a strike, 1-2. Mather out of Mountain Point High School. And makes his offseason home here. Was excited to tell all his teammates that he slept in his own bed last night and the night before coming home. 2-2 the count. Both he and Felipe Lopez talked about pitching in that 20-inning game and said, we could feel it the next day. We thought we wouldn't feel any soreness in the arm or in the back, the legs. We could feel it. Just got a piece of it. And the reason why is because pitching is clearly the hardest job in the game.
I'll tell you what. I pitched that one inning in my career, and I think I threw 13 pitches in that inning, Darren. I got to be honest. Much respect after that for pitchers, especially relievers that have to maybe come, because I was so sore. Every part of my body hurt after 13 68-mile-an-hour fastballs.
The 2-2 got him with a split-fingered fastball. Let's listen to Mel Stottlemyre Jr. talking about the subject of a moment ago. Pitchers that warm up more than once in a game and how you keep track of it.
That up and down is what wears on a guy. And you do that over a course of 3 or 4 games and he doesn't get in. It's like pitching in a game. So I like to track, you know, for instance, if a guy has gone back-to-back, I'm not going to go out on that 3rd day and get him up and down twice and not get him in a game. You do that over 160-something games, you know, along with the 70 appearances and the up and downs, and you break guys.
That's what you're talking about.
He's, well, having spent some time, as Drew goes for the hole, can he get him? You betcha he can. Nice play there by Stephen Drew. Another 1-2-3 inning as Dan Herron settles in. You can get him up and down.
Every time that there was noise by the Cardinals, they would bounce back. And then Mark Reynolds, a 3-run home run, his 5th of the year, 14 RBIs. It's Reynolds who leads it off. And the first pitch, as you take a look at our game summary, is a strike. It's brought to you by our good friends with Blimpie. And now it's Kyle McClellan, the 25-year-old right-hander. Curveball is in. 1-1 the count. You see the numbers on McClellan. And with regard to those first batters, he has not done the job he's wanted, retiring only 2 of the 5, as that one is outside. Mark's home run sailed over the bullpen and literally giggled at it as it went by. Look at those numbers. 3 for 3 with 2 homers, as that one is lifted to the right side. This is last year. Just another one of those jaw-dropping home runs. That one, a majestic high home run. And so the count 2-2. Three and 2 the count to Reynolds. Young popped to short, walked and scored, and grounded out to short. He waits on deck. Now he'll get his chance as Reynolds, for the third time tonight, is on. 2 walks and a homer. Now you look back, I just summarized the night for Young. And it's not awe-inspiring, but you need to look at that walk in the third inning, just in front of the par double, on a couple of very close pitches. Encouraging. And then an out on the ground followed when he had a basket full of pop-ups over the infield in previous at-bats.
Took a fastball right down Broadway there from McClellan.
What's going on in Cincinnati? What a wild game that was. 11-9 Reds over the Dodgers.
And it's always a good day when the boys in blue lose. So says Matt Williams as well.
Always says that.
Always.
Thinking about the Dodgers, to quote Matt, he has said to us, if I did have hair, it would stand up on the back of my neck when I think about the Dodgers.
Just thinking about the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm. 1-1 the count. Young, fly ball, center field.
Yeah, got to get Chris back hitting the top of that baseball. Starting to get underneath it again. You know, I had my very first hitting coach I ever had in the major leagues. He always told me, son, up here, one piece of advice: stay out of the air to center field. And that was Joe Altobelli. And I said, well, why is that, Joe? He said, well, it's the deepest part of the ballpark. You're not going to hit many home runs out there. And the opposing team always has their best center fielder, best outfielder in center. So they'll run everything down. So stay out of the air to center field. Some of the best advice I ever got, Joe Altobelli.
Chris, I'm
it's been a while since I've told that story.
Well, I've never heard it, and I appreciate you sharing that with us.
So
maybe back with Tommy you were able to tell it. Mara gives that one a ride. That's to center field, but it's deep in the air, and it's off the wall. Coming on around, but battling those legs is Reynolds. Still battling them. He's out at the plate.
Boy.
There's got to be something wrong.
Yeah, he's not right. He was not right at all. He was he really slowed down before getting to third, like he was expecting to be stopped. Watch Reynolds now. He slows. Oh, boy. And now he's a dead duck. Well, you got to believe that Bo Porter, he's got to know that, doesn't he? Or that he's got a bad wheel? Maybe he doesn't know.
Well, now we see him with the trainer. He has been uncomfortable twice running the bases, and it has been crystal clear. This time a long run, and he has gunned down at the plate.
Well, now, you've lost Connor Jackson. You've lost Miguel Montero. You've got a very tough kid right there in Mark Reynolds, but obviously one of his legs or both are not right. Because a normal Mark Reynolds or a healthy Mark Reynolds scores on that easily.
Trying to walk it off, Edwards with him.
I think I just read his lips saying it's tight. Maybe a hamstring, something like that is tight.
This looks like he can't put weight on his feet. Coming around. The 1-1. And when he grounded into the double play, that's the other time we could see it. And that was back in the first inning. Parr goes all the way around to third. Check swing for Snyder. Chris 0 for 2 with a walk. Can't help it, as you say, be a little nervous though when you see that.
Snyder pick up the slack. Nicely done right there by Snyder. And you get those opportunities when a guy like Dan Heron's hitting behind you. The pitcher with 3 hits tonight gets a breaking ball, and he just stays right on it and rips it into left field. So a run does score anyway. And Heron going to hit for himself.
One and 0 the count. .104 pitches thrown by Heron. 121. He has reached that pinnacle before.
He should be just fine.
This is one of those games, as you mentioned.
I just read a quote from the great Jimmy Leland, manager for the Tigers, talking about Justin Verlander, his ace. And they were talking about he threw 125 pitches. Jim Leland said, last I checked, 120 pitches wasn't all that many. What's wrong with that? Sounds like a normal pitch count. That's old school. I like it.
Danny threw 121 in that last outing. One away from his career high of 122. Dan Heron with a 4-hit night for the first time in his major league career.
And the fans knowledgeable. They realize that man's 4 for 4. They're giving him a standing ovation. It's well deserved. Matt Williams, okay, nice going. Pick up your coach.
There we go. Now we're talking. A 455 hitter. I've been telling you, Gracie.
Well, he just, another hard ground ball through the left side. Brendan Ryan gives it everything he can. He comes up short. Now Kelly Johnson, who's swinging a terrific bat tonight as well. He's got 3 doubles on the evening. He's got a chance to really add on right here with some much needed insurance for Dan Heron.
They get together in the last 2+ seasons, including this year. Carlos Zambrano 1 time, and now Dan Heron tonight, 4 hits in a game. It's only happened twice in the last 2+ seasons. And then you go down on that list, Dan Heron with 3 hits twice in a game beyond that. So starting to move himself into that category where you can say he is one of the best hitters in the game. And that, as we mentioned, started as small baby booties. She changed her mind. It's now a pool cover. But we love every moment of it.
Olympic size?
Yes. And soon, this ballpark won't have to close its roof anymore. That kind lady will have made it. The 0-1. Backed off on a changeup. A 4-hit night for a pitcher. Misses. And this club continues to climb with regard to timely hitting. 2-1.
Oh, boy. Kelly Johnson thought it was low. So did A.J. Hinch. And that's because it was.
Now time is called. Playing Johnson the pull. Couple runners off their bases. And the 2-2. Just got a small piece of it. So Danny will again go back to work. Looking to be his own bullpen and in an American League twist, be his own designated hitter. High drive, Johnson crushes it into center field. Going back is Rasmus, still going. He's got it. He gave it a ride, but a record-setting night for Dan Herron. These offenses locking horn, and he's right in the middle of it.
Bullpen is, especially the back end. I still don't want to leave it in their hands. I want it to be my game, but they see it from the side. They can see the way the hitter's reacting, and I can see it too. And they can see maybe my stuff's diminishing after 105, 115 pitches, and maybe I'm running out of gas. And I feel like I still want that hitter, but they know what's best.
Gracie, I will argue, as Juan Gutierrez does come in out of that bullpen, that I think they thought what was best was to, after running the bases again, to go with the fresh option out of that pen. I think they did know what's best. That's why they made the decision.
I've seen it happen before. I remember playing alongside Rick Sutcliffe, who was a very good hitting pitcher. I remember he was getting cuffed around one game, and it was about the fifth inning, and he had given up 6 or 7 runs, and he was due up second that inning. I remember Don Zimmer saying, by the way, I'm taking you out of the game, but you're going to hit. He doubled and scored in that inning, and by the time the inning ended, we had the lead. The Cubs had the lead. Sutcliffe was out of the game, went to the bullpen. He ended up getting the win, and he helped himself. So a good hitting pitcher, sometimes that will happen.
And right away, a drive to left. A Diamondback is there. For Gutierrez, it has been a swallow hard twice on a couple of outings against the San Diego Padres.
I could just tell in your voice, Darren. But 1 pitch, 1 out for big Juan Gutierrez. You see, fastball down the middle, and the way Ludwig's been swinging it tonight, a couple of home runs and a base hit, you're just expecting it to go deep into the seats. but Gerardo Parra was there to haul it in.
Pujols.
These Cardinals are swinging it off Juan Gutierrez.
Going to work in the last 5 games. The bullpen for the Diamondbacks has struggled. 12 2/3 innings, 18 earned runs, and opposing hitters hitting .397 against them. Went after him with a fastball. No balls and 2 strikes to count.
Gutierrez got a terrific arm. He's going to need to, because speaking of good arm, that was a one-arm home run off the bat of Albert Pujols. Gutierrez ahead on the count, 0-2.
Boy, that got a lot of home plate. Pujols, angry, fires his bat away, starts running hard, but he is erased on a pop-up. They wanted that up high, and they didn't get it there. He beat him with the velocity, but Pujols was beside himself.
He is disgusted with himself. He can't believe it. He wants it up, and it's just above the belt. Oh, Albert can't believe it. I got my pitch, and I let him get away with it. But I like the fact that after he's upset, he ducked his head and he started running hard.
A resident bullpen expert and analyst on the pre- and post-game show, Joe Borowski, saying that there will be no soft landing to get back on track. You'll be right back in there, probably facing, I don't know, maybe Ludwig, Pujols, and Holiday in a row in a close game.
Huh? Welcome to the major leagues. That's
exactly
what it's all
right.
about. Everybody in a major league lineup is a good hitter. And tonight, the pitchers are good hitters. A little off-speed changeup on 2-0 to get the called strike. Nice pitch.
Does a variation of that pitch like Brad Penny. Widens the fingers out a little bit. Not a true split like Dan Herron throws. Going with a fastball away.
He got it past him, 96 mile an hour. Big fella's feeling it out there. There's big Brad Penny. I'm a Brad Penny fan. Not only as a pitcher, but as a guy, too. I think he's a good guy.
The 2-2 rocks and fires with a high fastball belted right. Just enough to he's got room. A scoreless frame for that Diamondbacks bullpen.
Oh, baby!
That's what I'm talking about. a good, quick, clean inning for Gutierrez. For a team that trots out relief pitchers for an awful lot of just one-and-done outings. May not be too surprising, and you called for it. You talked about it. Let's see Gutierrez go back out again. What, 8 pitches, 9 pitches?
I would be shocked if Juan Gutierrez doesn't go back out for the 8th inning, because he had a 1-2-3 inning, used only 9 pitches, and he went right through the heart of the Cardinal order in Ludwig, Pujols, Holiday. I think he's earned the right to go back out there for the 8th, and if he has another quick one, run him back out there for the 9th. Let's go old school, like a Raleigh Fingers or a Bruce Sutter save.
Mike Marshall
kind of save. Jim Kern. Yes, I just went Jim Kern.
Well, what was it, 23, 4, 5 pitches thrown by Chad Qualls yesterday?
Yeah. Quite a few of them. We can look it up. I know it was in the mid-20s.
Three and 1 the count to Stephen Drew. The phone ringing down in the Diamondbacks bullpen.
And another base runner here to lead off the 7th.
Like Sherlock going over the plans for the next inning or so.
Right fielder, Justin Upton.
Long-time Diamondbacks coach, bullpen coach. He's got a message for somebody in there. Qualls did throw 24 pitches.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be available tonight.
0-1 the count to Justin Upton. 14 hits for Arizona, as they show a little bit more of that offense that they showed a lot early on in the season. Hey, don't forget, spend this Friday and Saturday night in Uptown.
Uptown, bring it.
The new exclusive fan zone behind the right fielder Justin Upton. Now, fans seated in this section get a limited edition Uptown Rally towel, or may even catch an Uptown autographed baseball.
That's Uptown.
The 0-2. And it bounces in there. Okay, call 602-462-4794 or visit dbacks.com/.
Uptown. Man, I can't wait to get out there. I'm here this weekend with you, Darren. You got me all weekend, pal. You ran me out of town last weekend, but nope, you're stuck with me on this one. I don't leave when the Phillies come to town.
Anyway, 1-2 the count to Upton. He drives Drew back to the bag. I'm looking forward to hearing your call on Friday night.
Why is that?
We'll have I'm looking forward to your call of the ball game.
Well, I'll be here, but I won't be on
television
TV
Friday night. That bounces in there.
They want to televise the National League champs.
We all wish we were on. Trying to piece it all together with all 3 teams and their postseason success for 2 of the 3. That's one we didn't want to give up, did we?
It's all right. It's understandable.
Two and 2 the count. Got it off the plate, leaking out a little bit, a little overly aggressive. All right, I feel a homer.
Well, like I said, it's that water skiing syndrome. Justin doesn't need to go out and get the ball. The ball will come to him. It's like the water skiing. The boat will pull you out of the water. You don't need to pull yourself out of the water. Souvenirs galore. When Justin lets the ball travel and just trusts his hands and trusts his talent, that's when he becomes great.
Reaches out again. Pulls that ball. There's one. They won't turn that one. So he is on. And here's Adam LaRoche. Turn Justin loose here.
Love to see it.
First baseman Adam LaRoche.
We said it though, still trying to do a lot.
Yeah.
Just in 2 stolen bases this year. And he has driven back to the bag. These Cardinals, as much as the Diamondbacks have had it be a big bugaboo, and that's keeping base runners from swiping bags against them, the Cardinals have been on the high side. And so even when you have a man not named Molina behind home plate, it's the responsibility, according to Dave Duncan, to make sure you help your catcher. Vladimir, after catching 20 innings and then a Sunday night game, gets a much-deserved day off. That one is outside. St. Louis has allowed 4 stolen bases, with 4 thrown out. Just 8 attempts.
Which is very good.
All year.
Justin going to be going? Because this guy is a long armor, even though it's not a big high kick. He does really extend that arm back behind him before he lets it go, which will slow his times down to the plate.
But continues to throw over and work over. Justin's lead right now pretty conservative. Diamondbacks on the flip side have allowed 19 attempts with just 2 thrown out. Nothing doing. He's not going.
But also, with McClellan all over the place as he is, you know, if he's just going to walk people, why send anybody?
Good point.
You know, let him hurt himself. Swinging away 3-0.
The Cardinals over the last 3 seasons swing more at 3-0 pitches than any team in baseball. So they're used to seeing it. That's a strike. 3-2. That's what gets tough. You've educated us to that you go after it. If you're not able to do it, then he paints the next pitch, which he did.
Well, I'm sending the runner right here if I'm AJ. I'm not AJ, and AJ's very thankful for that.
Runner goes. High fly left. Justin picks it up. He's all right, and he gets back. Holiday puts it to bed. So now Mark Reynolds. Whether he likes it or not, unfortunately, will be watched very closely should he put a ball in play somewhere.
Well, if you hit it out of the ballpark, you can trot around the bases. You don't have to worry.
He was thrown out trying to score back in the 6th inning and really didn't look right at all running. The same can be said about his approach running the bases in the 1st when he rolled into a double play. He was able to jog in the 4th. That one into the dirt, and an attempt on a backhand there. We talked about that earlier, trying to backhand that baseball. 1-0 the count.
You're exactly right, Darren. Instead of getting down to block it, he tries to glove it with the backhand. Same thing that happened earlier to Chris Snyder in the 1st inning. Becomes a wild pitch. Now a runner in scoring position for Reynolds. Sitting on 14 RBIs now. I guess homers do that for you. 3-run homers help that RBI total.
They come in bunches. I love the 2 walks that he's had in this game. Just patiently not interested in going after those.
Well, right now, I think Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan, they understand that Chris Young's been struggling the last few games. Mark Reynolds has not been struggling the last few games. So I think they're just as happy to go ahead and put Mr. Reynolds on base and take their chances with the struggling Chris Young on deck with the base open.
For the first week of the season, he feasted on those opportunities. Young did, as Reynolds takes a strike. 3-1 to count. Cardinals came in 9-4. The Diamondbacks 5-8. One in first place in their respective division, the other in last, as Reynolds walks for the third time tonight.
Got a heck of a game. He's probably hoping Chris Young doesn't hit a gapper, so he has to scamper around the bases again. The last thing they could use now is their big man in the middle missing time with bad legs or bad wheels.
He doesn't come out of games either.
No.
I mean, we've seen it his whole career.
He's a tough kid. Matt Williams says he's the toughest kid on the team, and he's proven it.
And he proved it last year, time and time again, diving into concrete and railings.
And just beat himself to death over the course of that year last year. And just selling out his body and selling out his soul for a last place finish. That says a lot about the kid.
Right now he's at first. His teammate, great speed, Upton, is ahead of him. One and one for Mark. That's the third time he has walked 3 times in a career. So it hasn't happened a lot. Two and one to count. Now, we're used to seeing guys hobble around like that, maybe at Diamondbacks fantasy camp, but not Mark Reynolds.
We see a lot of
That's
it
every player.
Fantasy camp.
That's every player doing that, hands on the knees. And
our old buddy Ollie Simpson, after 2 games, he's
the third, not in time, and Reynolds trails as he steals it right behind him.
Justin probably on his own right there. Just showing the great speed, just in ahead of the tag. That's a good shot there. What a good call down there at third base by Marty Foster. Reynolds on the back end, up easy, up easy. Yeah, he's favoring it a little bit. See if Chris Young can play a couple here. Oh, he swung at the 3-1 breaking ball, a little over anxious.
Mark's first stolen base of the year, Justin's third. Got him with a fastball, so a couple of base runners stranded. Those legs are barking for Mark Reynolds. Justin Upton was out front of him. 9-7 the score. Colby Rasmus to lead it off. An 8-pitch inning a moment ago for Juan Gutierrez. So, of course, he goes back to the bump, takes the baseball. Rasmus has Reynolds at third, in and even with the bag, even a step in front of that. Got himself a big leg kick in his approach as he takes strike one, a slider over the inside corner. Howry and Norberto warming in the pen. Howry, the veteran right-hander. Jordan, the hard-throwing lefty.
Boy, a couple of gorgeous breaking balls to jump ahead 0-2 from Juan Gutierrez. Pretty.
Let him build on the confidence. A couple of balls hit hard against him in that 1-2-3 inning.
Snyder wants a high fastball. Snyder got a high fastball. Gas right by Rasmus. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Breaking ball to slow him down, and then the upstairs with the gas right around the letters. No chance there for the youngster.
That's the pitch he wanted to throw Albert Pujols. Didn't get it up there, but got away with it. So now David Freese. Singleton scored back in the 4th inning. He struck out a couple of times. This one buried in. Reynolds plays it. And it's a little foul ball. Got a piece of Freese, I'm guessing.
I guess he must have got the toe of Freese because it's certainly a fair ball. Oh, my goodness. Stop it. Okay, it's time for me to tell Juan Gutierrez to stop it. Fastball, then the beautiful breaking ball. Another 0-2 count for Gutierrez. Up with a high fastball. Ooh, there was a high fastball. They got a bow tie there for the youngster.
The message sent on 0-2, a good 0-2 pitch. Now he's got himself options, and we'll follow along with him. He can come back in, double up with that fastball for a strike, or go with the breaking ball. The 1-2. He went with the fastball.
He went upstairs with the fastball. Freese was right there. A good swing at the high fastball to get a hold of it and stay alive.
Arizona coming in with a 4.89 team ERA. League average is 4.37 in the National League. Cardinals best in baseball. There's the slider. No, he didn't. A couple of times tonight that we have thought anyway.
AJ doesn't know what to think. Let's see. Does he hold it up? Does he check it? Now he might have got that call right, Darren. I'm going to give Ed Hickok some love and say he got that one right. 3-2.
Slider misses away there. And Anderson waits on deck, the Cardinals catcher.
Snyder wants the fastball away. Let's see if he gets it.
That one ran in.
I think Gutierrez got a break there. That could have probably been ball 4, but it somehow found the bat of Freese, and that's a foul ball, and we'll do it again.
First half of last season, a real learning experience for Gutierrez, and since the All-Star break of last year, one of the most dependable Diamondback relief pitchers, including his recent struggles. Fly ball with a fastball. He just beat him there.
Freese putting a good at bat on him, though. Fell behind 0-2, laid off some tough pitches. Cardinal fans rejoice. Man.
Starting over.
Yep. Just a hoodie for the baby.
That's where it all starts. The 3-2.
Gas!
Went back upstairs with a high fastball. Freeze, part of back-to-back strikeouts. And so far, Gracie, I think that inning, an inning ago, a confidence inning.
I don't think there's any question. He just went right down the middle, belt high, and just threw it right by Freeze. He can't believe he missed it. Big fella throwing hard here this evening.
This is only the second multiple inning outing by a Diamondbacks reliever all season. The second time a reliever has gone just more than one inning. Well, you got to have that.
Have to have that. That's why it's so important for him to run back out there in the 8th. He's throwing the ball so well. You almost want to bite your arm off if you hook him after that 7th inning.
Mark Reynolds is there. 1, 2, 3, 6 up, 6 down. Trying to get that Diamondbacks bullpen back on track. Sports Arizona presents Diamondbacks Baseball, brought to you by Southwest Airlines and by your Valley Hyundai dealers, proud sponsor of the 7th inning stretch. Now, with 7 models to get 30 miles per gallon or more, Hyundai is now the most fuel-efficient car maker in America. This is the matchup you were talking about. Well, you have to minimize the usage of your bullpen because tomorrow you have Edwin Jackson going against one of the game's best in Chris Carpenter. Now, Edwin really reinventing himself in his last outing and his final one of spring, too. Edwin, just about every out on the ground that he had against the San Diego Padres. Dennis Reyes takes the baseball for the 8th time this year as he faces Gerardo Parra to lead things off.
He has the very good slider, one of the better sliders in the game.
Pitches away, 1-0 the count. So Juan Gutierrez gets a day of rest and then goes back to work, and in 2 innings, 6 up and 6 down. Juan had just pitched too effectively for the second half of the season and all spring long to disappear after a couple of tough outings.
I'm not opposed to running back out there for the 9th.
Well, check Qualls.
Yeah, he's probably not
yesterday.
available. Yeah, he is getting loose in the bullpen, so it looks like it is going to be his 9th inning. But right now, Juan Gutierrez only 23 pitches into it. And he's been stellar. 6 up and 6 down.
but it looks like he's gone.
There's the slider, and there's Gerardo Parra as a strikeout victim.
Chris Snyder striding towards home plate. Let's bring in Jody Jackson a little bit more on a recent conversation with Miguel Montero. Jody?
Well, that's right, Darren. It was a welcome sight to see Miguel Montero in the clubhouse today before the game. I was able to catch up with him for the first time after surgery just last Thursday to repair a torn meniscus. And so 5 days out, he says the knee feels very good. The surgery went well. He's walking normally, and he's undergoing rehab with Ken Crenshaw, the Diamondbacks trainer, to get the quad and the hamstring already reacting. He says it should be about 4 to 6 weeks, which is normal. That's what's expected. And A.J. Hinch did confirm he'll travel with the team next week to continue, of course, the rehab with Ken Crenshaw. And everyone just seemed to be glad to see him again in the clubhouse. His spirit is infectious, as A.J. Hinch put it. And so he's progressing nicely, even though it obviously is early right now.
His spirit is infectious.
I never had a manager say that about me.
No.
I just heard, "Get out of here, Grace."
Thank you, Jody. 1-1 the count to Snyder. Hard ground ball, stabbing at it and making the play is Freeze, and shoots it on across to Albert in time for the out.
I bet you Don Zimmer probably couldn't even spell infectious.
What about indigenous? Our APS Energy All-Star, Dan Herron. He was okay on the mound, but good enough because he was great with the bat.
That swing is indigenous to 400 hitters.
There's Rusty. 0-1 the count to Ryle.
Where?
Right there. Getting the
Rusty
call.
Ryle.
Yeah, since 2000, 4 hit games by a pitcher. They're not a regularity. We told you since 08 when Zambrano did it. Remember 07? Do you remember Mike Owings? He did it twice. Levon Hernandez. As that one is up and away.
That was one of the best efforts I've ever seen by a pitcher, but almost a position player that night down in Atlanta, Georgia, Darren Sutton, when Mike Owings hit a couple of home runs, had 4 hits, and I believe might have thrown a complete game.
Rusty Ryle. Hard hit ball, hard enough that Rasmus had to leave his feet. I'll never forget that outing either. See, there's a good sign. And I don't know if I've told you folks, really since you and I have worked together, we need more signs at the ballpark.
That's very true, and I'm glad you're finally saying that because we've talked about it off the air a lot, but I'm glad you're finally telling the folks at home that we need to see more signs.
And they need to be, well, a couple of guys I'd love for you to focus on. Kelly Johnson signs. He needs some signs.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Bouncing ball in on the hands. And also, I think Rusty Ryle signs. They should say.
Let's love on Rusty a little bit.
A giant sign that says, "There's Rusty."
I get my 3 outs. So that might up my adrenaline a little bit. I might get a little bit more excited and a little bit more jacked up to throw the 9th. But as far as mentality, I know that I have a job to go out there and do it, whether it was the 8th, the 7th, or the 9th.
Says Chad Qualls, who worked last night, was scored upon. Qualls, it's been a tough start to the season, an ERA of over 8. After last year suffering a knee injury, cost him the last month of the season a 3.63 ERA. Qualls bucking the trend over the last couple of years and in his career that his bullpen has set this year. He has pitched well throughout his career, effective, certainly effective enough without any rest. A 3.09 ERA with no days of rest. Again, 24 pitches yesterday. Good sinker. It's outside. 1-0 the count. 10 times last year, as you see the numbers for Ryan, Qualls worked with no days of rest and had a 1.64 ERA. Maybe a little bit more fatigued, maybe not overthrowing that sinker, and it dives more.
Maybe is correct. He is a horse. He's a guy that wants the baseball. And as he said, maybe these 9th innings get him a little more juiced up. We'll see. Well, that's a beautiful fastball on the outside corner there, right by Brendan Ryan.
This year, this Diamondbacks bullpen, 15 outings without any rest. That leads the National League and has AJ and his fans praying. And opponents hit 400 against the Diamondbacks bullpen in that situation. The 1-2. Slider, strike 3. Wicked.
That's pretty sharp right there. Whether he threw 24 pitches or not, that's 3 beautiful fastballs, and then get to the slider. No chance there for Ryan. It was so important to get out number 1 in the 9th inning. What do you think?
I think it's the most important thing. I think that fine Diamondbacks fan, loyal and hanging in there, has been busy all night long.
Oh, look at that
Goodness
fastball.
gracious. To pinch hitter Nick Stavinoa.
Yeah, 7-0 saying, what the heck did that thing just do?
Houstonian Nicholas Lee Stavinoa on the 0-1.
Baby.
He overswings on a slider, 0-2.
So far, very sharp for Chad Qualls, the closer.
Trying to lock down the ball game. Get his 2nd save of the year. He saved 24 last year. Got him. That's strike 3.
Nice block there by Snyder as well. Chad Qualls, very sharp through 2 outs. That's the good 2-strike slider. Beautiful block there by Chris Snyder. Textbook.
Well, we spent several days telling Diamondbacks fans on the air about the perfection of the Padres bullpen, while the men in red in their pen crumble. So far tonight, it's been perfect. After Dan Herron labored and was very human as a pitcher, excellent as a hitter, his pen is picking him up. Sinker, 1-0 the count.
And you'd love to see Ryan Ludwig, who's on deck, stay in the on-deck circle when this one ends. He's homered twice tonight.
Sinker, good life on it. It misses, though. 2-0. Trying to right the ship, Gutierrez and Qualls. The team has blown 5 of their 6 save opportunities. The 2-0. Sinker, strike.
Kind of a late call there from Cedarstrom.
It was a strike, though.
It looked like it. Looked like it got the kneecaps.
Let him beat it into the ground. Let your defense help, as that one is low. 3-1.
Well, the walks have been what really hurt this Diamondback bullpen, the late walks. Felipe Alou said, late walks tend to score, and that's certainly been the case for the Diamondback bullpen. Nice pitch there.
No walk, not yet. Comebacker over the inside corner. 3-2 the count, 2 outs. 1 strike away from the Diamondbacks' hope starting a winning streak.
Hands on their feet, they're wanting it. Get up, ladies.
The 3-2. Bouncing ball. Pauls has it! And the bullpen tonight is back on track. He threw a strike. He let his defense do the work. He was his defense. And the Diamondbacks win a slugfest tonight. There's nothing ugly about a win. Even when you win ugly, it's a thing of beauty.
Chuck and duck, but when you catch the baseball, that's the way it's done. Good to see for Chad Pauls and the bullpen. Much needed win. Much